Now, the first thing you're going to see Megan do is she's going to turn the water on. This is very important in making sure that you get the temperature of the water correct. You want your water tepid, which is lukewarm. Once she's adjusting the water, she's going to start by wetting her wrists and hands. And you'll notice that she's doing it separately. You want to keep your hands lower than your elbows at all times. The next step is she's going to apply soap to her hands. You want to get you a good amount of soap because you want to apply friction. Once you get your soap and you started friction, keeping your hands lower than your elbows, you can start your count. We usually do each section in 5. So we're going to start by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now she'll go around her hands. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now she'll do her wrists. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now she'll go in between her fingers. 5 more seconds. You want to make sure you do this at least 15 seconds. If your hands are grossly contaminated, you'll do it longer. Now you'll notice that she's doing her fingernails. Don't forget your thumb, and you're going to press your fingers against the palm of your hands. Once you've completed your nail care, now you're going to rinse your hands one at a time. You want to make sure that you rinse your hands thoroughly, getting all soap off your wrists and your fingers. Always keeping your hands lower than your elbows. Now, once you let the water drip off your fingertips, you're ready to dry your hands. So you get your paper towel, and notice as Megan begins to dry her hands, she's going to start with her wrists, going down her fingertips. Always remember, you want to make sure your hands are thoroughly dried between your fingers and on each hand. You may need to get more than one paper towel to do so. Whatever it takes, you want to make sure that your hands are nice and dry. Now notice that her water is still running. She'll throw that paper towel away and get another paper towel to actually turn the water off. That's for infection control. Once you've done that, your hand washing skill is complete. Hi Mary, it's Kathleen, your CNA. The nurse asked me to come in and apply knee-high stockings, okay? I'm going to get that and we'll get started. One of the things you want to make sure of is that you recognize that with knee highs, that you have the right size for your patient. So we're going to be putting on a knee high. They do come in thigh high, but for this skill, it's a knee high stocking. First thing you want to do is make sure you provide privacy. Okay, the next thing you want to do is expose one of your patient's legs in regards to the knee high that you're going to put on. We're going to roll her pants leg up so that we can get a very good clear look of her leg. And then you want to look at your knee high. You want to make sure you know where the heel of the knee high is located because you want to make sure it's placed correctly. You're going to notice that some of your knee highs have an opening, and that's for the nurse so that they can look to see that circulation is okay with the toes. Some of your knee highs may come with no hole at all, so don't get confused with it. Some of these holes could be at the back of the knee high. That's not important either. What's important is the placement of this knee high. And your goal of looking at what the placement mark is the heel. If you have this on the heel, then you know you're in the right position for your knee high. Now when you put it on, you want to make sure that you turn it inside out first. So what I'm doing is I'm placing this on my hand, and I'm putting the heel at the palm of my hand. You're going to fold your knee high down, and you're going to turn it inside out. Now knee highs are extremely tight when you put them on, but that's for a reason, because again, if they're not tight, they're not serving the purpose. This is to increase circulation. If someone had what we call edema or swelling, we want the knee high on to help push that fluid back into circulation so that it can be excreted out the body. So that's the purpose of knee high, to increase circulation. Now once you place it on your hand, you're going to take it off, but you need to know where that heel is. So I have the heel facing me, because I want to flip this knee high over her foot. So I have it facing me. You want to pull, stretch it, because you have to go over her entire foot with this knee high. So I'm going to pull it, then I'm going to flip it over her foot like this. And what you want to do is take it all the way down. You're going to just move it down. You're going to go over their heel. Now remember, it's tight, and that's for a reason. You want it tight. Then you're going to take the top of the knee high and just pull it down over the heel. So you're going to pull. Now one of the things you want to remember when you're putting on a knee high, whenever you're trying to get wrinkles out, you never want to pinch, because remember, these are tight. So to get the wrinkles out, you just simply pull. Just pull until you get it down where you want it to be. You want to pull to get all the wrinkles out. And work it up the leg. Just like this. What you want to do is make sure that it's nice and smooth. You see how this is over the heel? That's what you're looking for. That's extremely important. This here is supposed to be loose. That's what we want. Because again, remember, the nurse comes in and they just check for circulation, and we know that everything's okay with the pit hole or the knee high, and it's not too tight. So that's exactly how you want that to fit. Once you've done that, the knee high is in place. And now at this point, you're just going to make sure that your patient is safe and secure. The bed, of course, is in its lowest position. We're going to give her her call signal. Give us a call if you need anything, okay? And now you will go out and wash your hands. This skill is now complete. Hello, Ms. Smith. It's Kathleen. The nurse asked me to come in and assist you with bed pain, okay? I'm going to get the equipment we need and we'll get started, okay? First, we're going to provide privacy. Okay, so we provided privacy. Now I want to make sure that you see that the equipment that you're going to use for this skill, you have your hand wipes, you have tissue. Notice that you have 2 pair of gloves for this skill because we'll be demonstrating removing of gloves twice as well as hand washing twice. One of the things that's very important is the critical step in this skill. Number 5 is your critical step, and that's the placement of the bedpan. What you want to remember, this is considered a regular bedpan. The wide end always faces the head of the bed. If you have it this way, you have it incorrectly, and that's not good. This can cause a lower back injury, and so we want to make sure that that doesn't happen to our patients. Safety is very important. So again, you want to remember that. All right, now we're going to start the skill, okay? Now, one of the first things, again, you want to do prior to placing the bedpan is put your gloves on. Now, in this skill, Ms. Smith is alert and oriented, so she's able to assist us. Some of your patients couldn't lift up like she's able to, so we will be turning them on their side to place the bedpan. But in this scenario, she's able to rise up forward, so she'll be able to help us. You want to maintain complete privacy of your patient at all times. Now, Ms. Smith, what I want you to do is bend your knees for me and plant your feet flat on the bed. There you go. Thank you. We're going to go up under the sheet here, and we're going to place the bedpan up under her on her buttocks. On the count of 3, you want to lift up for me. We like to do things in 3 to let our patients know when to move and that kind of thing. So on the count of 3, if you'll lift up for me, 1, 2, 3. And you have to check to make sure that your patient is right on that bedpan correct. All right, is that comfortable for you? You can relax your legs for me, okay? Now, also notice in the steps, as you see them going up on the screen there, it says that the head of the bed must be flat. So in the beginning, you want to definitely make sure, and of course hers was. Now, prior to actually letting the head of the bed up, here's a specific point that you want to make sure you do. Remove these gloves at this time. So you take these gloves off, you would throw them away. Then you'll say, I've washed my hands. In reality, you would actually wash your hands. Now, at this point is when you would actually raise the head of the bed for the comfort of the patient. And you're going to ask Ms. Smith to tell you when she's comfortable. Ms. Smith, I'm going to let your head up, okay? You tell me when to stop. Is that comfortable? Okay. All right. Now what you have to do is actually bring the tissue and the wipes over by your patient. Now in this scenario, Ms. Smith can actually wipe herself, so you want to make sure that it's in reach. One of the things that's really important, one of the steps tell you, not only do you give them the hand wipes, but you have to give them instructions on what to do with the hand wipes. And if you don't do that, you'll get a note for that step. Ms. Smith, here's your tissue, so when you're done, just wipe yourself, okay? Right here are your hand wipes. When you're done, I want you to wipe your hands really good, and there's a trash can right here, okay? Now, in reality, sometimes you're going to have to actually help your patients clean themselves up, but in this scenario, for testing, they're able to do all that themselves. Ms. Smith, here's your call signal. I'm going to step right outside your curtain to give you some privacy, and when you're done, you just hit that button, and I'll come back in and assist you getting straightened back up, okay? So you're going to step outside the curtain at this time. Okay, we're going to come back in. Make sure you close those curtains back. Now,
One of the things you want to do is put on a new pair of gloves prior to doing anything in assisting her with getting off the bedpan. So we're going to put our gloves on. We're going to move the table out of the way. The step also, it tells you before you remove the bedpan, there's another before in there, you want to let the head of the bed down. You always want to make sure the head of the bed's down because you're removing the bedpan, so you're going against gravity if you don't. You only need one mistake with the bedpan to know, and you always remember to let the head down. I promise you. I'm going to move your collar just for a second. I'll give that back to you before I leave you. Okay, at this time, if you would bend your knees for me. There you go. On a count of 3, I want you to lift up, and I'm going to take the bedpan out, okay? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. You can relax your legs. Now, this time, I'm going to go over to the bedside commode to empty this out. So I want you to follow me as we continue the steps. Okay, at this time, you're going to simulate like you're emptying out the bedpan. And remember, they're going to have the bedside commode there for you. Wherever you see that sign that says toilet, that's what you want to utilize. Then you're going to rinse your bedpan. It tells you to rinse your bedpan and pour into the toilet. Do not pour this in the sink because you'll get a no for this step, okay? So I'm going to pour it, okay? At this point, we're going to wipe it out. Try it out. Many of your facilities, when you go to work, they have hoppers that you can utilize to rinse it out. Now it tells you to place it in the designated dirty supply area. Okay, so you can do that. Once you've done that, you're going to remove your gloves. You would wash your hands. Now we're going to go back over to our patient, make sure she's comfortable and in a safe position. You okay? Let me give you your call signal. You just give us a call if you need us, okay? All right. We'll put away our supplies, and at this time the skill is complete.